Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me make sure this is working. Yes, we are live on LP Army TV. Welcome everyone to the first episode of the new year of Crime Season. I try to stream nearly every day, but on Mondays especially, I go live on the LP Army YouTube channel. As we can see here, they host me in... Oh, I'm using the wrong overlay. There we go. Oops. Yes, anyways, there we go. That's the correct overlay. I need to update some things, actually, because, believe it or not, we are at 142 Solana, so I have to update the counter. We are up 4 souls since the last time we went live. Thankfully, I have been putting some plays together, while also still being kind of dumb, but at least we're working our way back up. That is very, very ideal. I was really struggling for a bit. I felt like I just couldn't string any sort of wins together, but we should be in better shape now. Oh, this is a Meteor stream, right? Yes, it is. Div, what's up, Div? What's up, Charlotte? Yes, it's a Meteor stream. There we go. There we go. So we are live on the Meteor or the LP Army TV. If you guys want to go drop a like, that would be much appreciated. Like I said, I try to stream every day now, but specifically on Mondays we go live on their channel, and I try to give a lot more lessons, maybe a little bit of an intro, and I'm not going to be probably paying attention to the TikTok chat as much, unfortunately. So we're going to try to figure out what we want to talk about. I'm going to go back and talk about some of the pools that I found that have been doing very, very well. Unfortunately, PSOC was one of them that I wish I had kept my fees in. Like, you know me, I've been getting greedy and looking for home runs. I think I ended up getting out of this one, like right here, and it went on to go up another like 50%. So that would have been a very, very big one. Look at maybe... I just saw your DMRN. I need to turn my tele noties back on. You should. But yeah, 6'7" is huge. Yes, yes, yes. Yo, what's up, Rag? Sorry, I need to get more focused. I am just too busy looking at the chat. Okay, anyways, we're going to go over Kurumi real quick. That is one thing I wanted to focus on tonight. So, I wrote this thing today about impermanent loss and how fee generation, if you guys... Actually, let me quote this so we can get some more eyes on the stream. Sorry, give me 1 second. Live now on at Mel... First of the year edition. That sounds good, right? Okay. So, basically what I wanted to... Okay, wait, let me look at these DM or these comments real quick. Minus 30 soul, should I quit or grind, bro? I don't know what to do. I don't really have a good answer for you if you can afford to stay in the game, and I would say just start with smaller size. And if you've just been traditionally trading meme coins, I think you should definitely check out Meteora and how this whole thing works. We're going to be getting into all of that if you tune into the stream. Barrel. Okay, we're going to pause on the tokens real quick, and I want to go over this. So basically today I made a post describing what impermanent loss is, and we're going to go over this later on stream once again. But basically impermanent loss is the value of your pool depreciating. So when you get super in range on a liquidity pool, if you are going one side, you are going to suffer impermanent loss because the tokens that are up towards the top of the range have now depreciated towards the bottom. Why this is important. if you read this, if you want to go ahead and check out that post, basically what I'm saying is you need to judge coins based off of the fee generation, right? Because I've entered a lot of different pools the past week, and there have been really two that have stuck out. Chud has actually been doing well, but this thing is very, very close to the bottom of my range. I was in about 0.5 sold profit at one point. Now you can see I'm down $43, but we're just going to give it a little bit more time. As you can see, pretty sketchy, pretty close to the bottom of my range, but the reason I stayed in this pool, and yes, I probably should have gotten out when I was in profit, besides the point. The reason I stayed in this pool is because the fee generation on this token was so high that it was good risk reward for me to stay in this pool. I'm trying to think of coins that didn't. That doesn't matter as much. Another pool that has been a big winner for me this past week is this one called Karumi. For whatever reason, this is actually a pump fund token, and usually, I don't know if you guys are aware, but pump fund tokens historically don't always print the best fees on Meteora pools. For whatever reason, this one just has super consistent volume. I'm not sure if it ranges. I don't know what mechanism is causing the DLMM pool to perform so well, but whatever reason it is, I've already claimed I sold some fees up back here, maybe I forget how high it was, maybe at 600k is where I sold, but regardless, I withdrew about 490 worth of fees on this, and I don't think I was ever in negative. I don't think I was ever in the negative on this token. Maybe slightly like minus 20 bucks, but that is because the reason why I was barely in the red at all is because on the way down, whenever I started this pool, I'll be able to show you guys once I close it, but whenever I got into this pool, I think it was around back here, maybe even back here. When I was back here, from the very beginning when it got into range, the fee generation on the pool was just so good that I really didn't have to worry about you know, the strength of the token, just because being in it was optimal regardless. All right. That was actually not a very good explanation, but we'll take it for now. Let me look at the comments real quick, fellas. You guys probably heard this song so many times, but I'm not going to get copyrighted for it, so. Why are your views so low? Is everyone else botting? Maybe. Usually my views aren't that low. I've taken a break since TGE. Do you think it's worth trading my strategy with the new playground? I'm not sure what your strategy is, Miles. Usually mine is pretty rinse and repeat. Usually it's like one-sided Solana, mostly bid-ask, 87% of the way down. What's up, Bragg? How you been doing, though? I meant to ask you. Okay. I am not going to be looking at the TikTok chat as much if they are not pertaining to the DLMMs. I'm going to explain all of what this is real quick, and then we can get into it. But just because I'm being hosted specifically on the LP Army, the YouTube channel, so like I said, I'm going to try to focus on here. If you want me to answer your questions more pointedly, go ahead and hop in the chat here. And if you could, drop a subscribe, drop a like, and that would be amazing. For watching now, awesome. Welcome, YouTube. So I kind of said what I needed to say about Karumi. Again, it's still just doing very, very well. I think in the past day, I've printed around like $37 in fees, or maybe that's a bit less. But regardless, I'm gonna stay in here. As you can see, I'm really not even very deep in range, only $68. And it's just kind of a nice chill pool to be in. As far as other updates on the portfolio, I can go over this before we get deep into any lessons. TPayX, I'm pretty deep on this one. It's very, very close to the bottom of range. As you can see, I'm technically down 153 on this. It says I'm up $74. I don't think that's accurate. I think this is, yeah, it's definitely not. It's because of the SOL appreciation. Regardless, this is another pool that actually early on was doing so good in fee generation that it was good RR. Now we're pretty deep, but this actually is a real product, so I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna keep my pool here, even though I'm technically out of range. I created a new range, so I wouldn't be completely out of range, but as you can see, it's in between that middle ground. But whatever, that one's fine. Even so, it's a pretty big position. I'm only down 150 at this level, which I'm fine with, so I'm just gonna leave that there. Not too many updates. My graveyard tokens are chilling here. Fa is actually getting a little bit of a spike. So is Detective, so I'm actually leaving these. And hopefully I just get like, I don't know, 200% one day and I can get out. But that's fine. I've made I've made do with what those bags are now. Shirts and Meteor is crazy. Div hasn't even seen that. You actually started with 1 soul. I started with 1.5. Yes. Would you ever DLMM in a pool with over 150k TVL? Possibly, Rag. For example, I'm in 6-7, and this has 400k in it. So, what I wrote about again in the post today is that there are 2 reasons you get into a token. One of them is so that you can have a little bit less risky exposure to the token. And not have to place a specific buy order. Like, I knew when I was entering 6-7 that this was not going to be very ideal fee generation. As you can see, I put in 15 soul in this, and it got, I don't know, $300 deep in it, and at that point I probably had like $20 or $30 each of fees, maybe even less. So the point is like, when you are entering these more liquid tokens that are maybe higher market cap, you have to keep in mind that the risk reward is in your confidence of the token. Because if it dumps 60% down or something and you're out of range, then you will very likely not have made very much in fees, just because of how diluted the pool is. But if you're entering this, like in my case, because I'm actually bullish on this token, then I don't have as much of a problem with it being so heavily diluted. Even though, right, it's not ideal. Like, I'm really not getting, I'm getting like what? I don't even know if this number is technically accurate, but 0.44% TVL. And this P&L is not right. It's because I entered the pool when Solana was super low. So really the only P&L, don't know what song this is. Apologies. There we go. Let's get this song going. So yeah, does that answer your question, Rag? It's kind of like a middle ground, obviously, and then you can be like, hey, Happy New Year, in a good volume token, your setup is minus 90% bid ask. It depends. The problem with the minus 90% is pretty rarely are you going to find a token that has all minus 90% of the bins paid for. On something like 6-7 or something that's way more established, you can definitely, easily, for sure, have confidence that you can go very, very deep. Like, I can probably go minus 92% on this, just because so many people have paid for bins. There's probably people stacking this literally down to 0. Yeah, like, you could, like, all of these bins are paid for. But on something like Chud or something, for example, when you're creating the range, if I go 90%, there's going to be bins that are not paid for. See, non-refundable, 0.14. So that's why instead of saying 90% usually, like sometimes I go soft and go minus 87%. I also like minus 87% because that accounts for 50% moves down. If you think about it, if you like chunk it out, right? If you draw 187% range down, you're gonna be able to go minus 50%, and then minus 50%. So you can think about it like that. But yes, 90% is gonna keep you safer. That's the bottom line. You might not make as much. Usually no less than 87. I'm looking to DLMM in Ralph. Sorry TikTok. What's up, Pavel? Crypto Rap is in here. No way. Sorry, Crypto Rap. I'm on the LP Army YouTube, so I'm trying to really pay attention to these questions and keep it lesson focused. Div, I'm sorry too. Pavel, Crypto Rap, Div. Sorry guys. But it's just for tonight. I'm trying to do more lesson focused stuff, and as opposed to answering a lot of the TikTok questions and going through tickers. But anyways, Rag says, I'm looking to DLMM and Ralph in fish, but TVLs are over 150k. So I have some friends in fish right now, Rag. We can take a look at it. I was actually in fish very, very long ago. I was in fish at like the first dip kind of, and I think I had like $5 of fees or something from my initial range, and I just sold them today for like 30, for like 30 bucks or something like that. Gosh, I don't even remember when I was in it. Something makes me think I was actually in it like back here. So back here, for whatever reason, the feed generation was really bad, and maybe after this huge spike, we got some more action, or we got some more feed generation in those pools. And now it's getting even more volume, and it's breaking higher highs. So maybe it's probably not bad. And especially so, Rag. The thing is you have to find the happy medium of, because on a coin like this, right, it's at 5.8 mil market cap, 4 million volume. It obviously has attention. This is not likely to rug to 50, 100k in one day. It can happen, obviously, but it's not as likely. Thank you for the gift, bro. Crypto Rep is the GOAT. Crypto Rep is the GOAT. Thank you, sir. I put on the notifications. I finally figured it out. I remember I DM'd you asking. But anyways, something like this, right? This is not likely to rug, so you can have more confidence in the size you're putting in, but you're gonna sacrifice the feed generation for the confidence you get. That's kind of like my thing with Troll, and why I kind of got turned off is I was in a pool for Troll, like minus 60% range for like 3 months, and I made a good bit, and then it fell out of the bottom of my range, and I'm pretty sure I was break even, or maybe even a little bit of a loss. So just in that example, but yeah, I was kind of yapping there, but yes, honestly, like if you want to try fish, go for it. You could just like hit a minus 90% or something on like that. The bins are definitely paid for on that, so no stress on that end. And then you said Ralph as well. Ralph Wiggum. Wait, this one? Wasn't there a different one? Oh, this one actually rugged. This one's at 2.8 mil. What the heck? Pretty sure I was looking at this one. Whenever I saw a Ralph running, I'm pretty sure it was this one. Oh yeah, it went up to like 700k. Does that mean this is gonna get a revival? Probably not, but I don't know. It's probably good, Rag. It's probably good. You could probably, you could probably hit like a minus 90%. You know what? Like, why not? We can try it. We can try it. Why not? Hi, Crime. I'm Malone from Crypto. What? Don't know what you mean, mate. Don't know what you mean. Sorry. I'm trying to read TikTok chat now. Give me a sec. Oh, from Crypto Rap Community. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, man? Yeah, Crypto Rap shouted me out on his stream today, and I got like 10 followers instantly. It's kind of crazy. I appreciate that. Alright. Guys, everyone in the chat, if someone's DMing you, no worries, says Div. Okay, good. If someone's DMing you in the chat saying they're going to help you, just be very careful. Don't click on any links or anything or send them any money. We did have someone get scammed in the chat, unfortunately, but that hasn't happened in a few months. But anyways, Ralph. Sure, I'll set up a range on this one. Why not? We can do it together, Rag. My brother got me this very, very nice tea for Christmas. I drink like literally 3 or 4 cups of tea a day now, because whenever I drink coffee, for some reason, I like get depressed whenever I crash, so I no longer do that. This is the correct one. Yes, I searched the CA. Bro, who is making a white whale Ralph pool. This is kind of interesting. What the heck? I haven't seen someone do this in a very, very long time. I'm gonna send it in my chat just because I thought it's funny. Haven't seen someone do this in a while. Sorry TikTok. Like I said, I'm trying to really just focus on yapping today for the Meteor stream, but I will glance over occasionally. What key levels you look for liquidity? So I don't necessarily look for liquidity. In a Meteora, obviously you can look at volume profiles, which is like a VPVR if you're familiar with that. You can pull that up on the chart and see what levels the most trades occurred at, but in terms of like actual liquidity on meme coins, it doesn't really matter too much because things can just rug and they can just run. So in terms of liquidity levels, not much. I don't look for much, but in terms of depositing liquidity into liquidity pools, which is what Meteora is all about, that is really what we are focused on. So, sorry, I got very, very distracted, but we are going to... Gosh, I'm so stupid. Forgive me. Forgive me. Okay, here we go. My bad. Yeah, obviously we're going to go in the 100 bin 2% pool. For sure. And then I'm not going to put too much in here just because I don't fully trust it. And I'm actually going to go pretty wide on them because I don't fully trust it. And I've been getting hurt a lot recently, so I'm building my bankroll back up, and so I'm I'm more hesitant to enter in pools with the same size. I realized that I've been entering in too much size. Like I'll see like a new token that's like, I don't know, 6-8 hours old, 6-7 hours old, and then I'll just throw in 10 soul on like a wide range, right? But it doesn't matter because the thing still ends up rugging or something. 80085, a great meme. I think it's not a bad meme. I think it's been done before though. That's the only issue. It was from the very beginning when I started using it, Div. It was like, whenever I started using it, August 1st, 2024 is when the counter started, I believe. And then like the earlier volume or whatever fees that I generated were weighted way heavier. It's picking up. Okay. Anyways, I guess we can go into... I'm going to try to make this more brief. And I literally make clips about this every single day or every single week, but it's okay because everyone needs to learn at some point. If you're in the business of following me and trying to replicate my strategy, or at least using my strategy for your own insight. So basically, what is Meteora? If you are looking at this blankly, if you've just tuned into the stream, what are these bars? What are we trading? We are not trading futures. We are not trading stocks. We are trading meme coins, specifically on the Solana chain, on the Solana ecosystem. So, I'm sure you've seen meme coins, meme coin trading, whatever. People can turn 1 SOL to 100 SOL in one trade. Basically, those times of trading new pairs and turning a very small amount of money to like turning $200 to 20K in one trade, it's a lot harder nowadays. It's definitely obviously still possible. There's people that do it. But basically, you are at a disadvantage if you do not know about the Meteora software. Meteora is a brand, or is a platform. Basically, they are they're not Jupiter's kid. I don't want to say anything out of pocket. But basically, them and Jupiter are very close integrated. They have similar team compositions, whatever. I actually don't know any of that. I'm kind of just freeballing that. Anyways, what I'm getting at is that this platform is super, super well built out. And it provides an edge to the user that, for some reason, a lot of meme coin traders, even pro, whatever you want to call it, profitable meme coin traders, a lot of them don't know about this. But Meteora has a very, very strong community. And the reason being is because their tech is so good. If you go to their website, they have a whole, you can join their Discord. This is their Twitter. Basically, the whole entire premise of the LP Army is to show retail traders, you guys, how to use their software and hopefully make money. So, basically, that is something similar that I do, and you guys can feel free to join my community as well. But I'm going to be focusing more on the LP Army and Meteora as a whole as a company, since we are live on their channel. Anyways, you might be wondering, well, how do I make money with Meteora? What is the advantage? So basically, Meteora has invented a way, or they were inspired by Trader Joe, some platform on AVAX. Regardless, Meteora did it better, and people actually use it. So what Meteora is, they have a software that allows you to open liquidity pools on meme coins. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. When you go to the home page, you're going to see all these different pairs. I'm actually going to make the screen a little bit smaller so those on mobile can see it. When you are looking at the home page, this is what you see when you enter Meteora. This interface has changed a few times. Basically, what you need to worry about is going on here. Once you find a token that you see has good volume, you like, has a good narrative, whatever the reason might be that you want some sort of exposure in this token. So you come to Meteora. I personally don't really look at the scanner here. I'm usually coming here with intention because I've seen a token that I'm interested in. Now, what you want to do once you decide on a token that you want to LP. So when I'm saying LP, it means liquidity provide. It means you want to provide liquidity, you want to open a liquidity pool, and you want to gain exposure to this token. So I keep saying get exposure to the token. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So for example, we are going to find this token, FX. Like I said earlier, this has been a very, very good risk-reward pool to be in. I've printed at least 25% so far. Already taken profit, but I'm going to stay in it just because it keeps showing me that it's giving consistent money each day. So we're going to go to Meteora, right? We're at the home page. This is what you see when you get on the website. Now we're going to go to the pool page. We're going to paste the contract address, the CA that we just grabbed from the chart page. Now you're going to see some different pools. All of these you can enter in a Kurumi USDC pool. In this case, you would be putting USDC into the pool. I almost never do USDC pools. I know my friend is actually probably the majority of TVL in this one. He likes to do the USDC pools. I just usually mess with Solana. It's easier for me to track my P&L just because I denote everything in Solana, so it makes it easier when Solana fluctuates in price, obviously. Now, you click on the pool, right? Now, what are we doing? What is the whole point of this screen? So, I'm going to show you why Meteora is powerful. So now that we are here and we are ready to set up a position, this is where you go to when you're setting up the position, I'm going to visualize what it actually looks like on the chart and why you would use it. So, here on Kurumi, this thing actually does look sort of bottomed, right? So maybe not a terrible idea to buy one SOL of it here. Let's say you want to get in, you buy one SOL. Now, once you buy one SOL of this token, you are completely hoping that this token goes up from there. Whatever your current buy price is, in what world would you want it to go lower? Because no matter what, if it goes lower, you are down money instantly. Even if it goes down 1%, you're down a little bit of money. So the only like picture perfect ideal situation is you buy it, you have the perfect entry, it never even comes back to your entry, right? It just goes straight up. Now we all know how not likely that scenario is to play out. So why Meteora is powerful is, and a lot of people get confused here, they think that Meteora allows you to short the token. That is not correct. But instead of buying one SOL at the current price, which is this green line, obviously, instead of buying one SOL here, you get to choose a range of where you think the price is going to hang out. So you can be a lot less perfect on your entries. You can be imperfect on your entries. So looking at this token, it's at 691K. We know these tokens can go to literally zero. They can go to 10K, they can go to 20K, they can go literally to zero. But looking at this token is pretty strong, and we can make the assumption, or maybe I would make the assumption, I don't think that this price is going to dip below 50K in the near term, right? That's probably a reasonable guess. Maybe even lower. Maybe 47 is what we want to go to. That's actually a very, very wide range. So usually when I'm telling people to start off, minus 87% ranges are usually what I recommend. Honestly, if you're just starting, try to get a 90% range. It's going to save you a little bit more stress in the future. Regardless, 87%, right? Now, it breaks Meteora. The bottom line is Meteora allows you to break your Solana up between this range, and it does it automatically for you. And it allows you to customize the shape. So, right, if I spread my liquidity even, it would be a straight rectangle. I would have one buy order of the same size, one buy order of the same size, one buy order of the same size. Imagine that these lines are the same. I know they're not, but imagine that they're even, right? So now your one Solana is broken up into equal bins. So let's say it's 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, all the way down. These are acting as buy orders. The power of this platform is that when price comes down into your range, you order a tax on the orders. You are able to charge a tax on incoming buy orders because you have your Solana sitting here at these different price points all the way down in this range. It's sitting there. It's called resting liquidity. And when your Solana is sitting there, it's there on the open market for other impatient sellers and buyers to use. So if someone has, I don't know, $500 of this token and they want to get out right now, the Jupiter as an aggregator could search your liquidity sitting here, and it says, hey, whatever your name is offering this Solana at this price. This is efficient even with the fee that it's charging. So then their order flow comes through your resting buy order. Now they take their tokens, they swap it out for your Solana. So now the price is below this buy order. This is swapped to Solana. I mean, this is swapped to the token. This Solana has swapped to the token. So every time you see how many bins there are, every time it moves up and down in this range, whether it goes down, you're gonna get fees in the token. So in this case, Kurumi, you're gonna get fees in Kurumi when it goes down. When it goes up, you get fees in Solana. When it goes down, you get fees in Kurumi. So on and so forth. This allows you to gain fees if the token comes down in ranges. So instead of buying one SOL, and then imagine the chart does something like this. You bought all the way up here, and the chart is now bouncing around. It might come back up. You're like, oh, I'm finally break even. But if you are LPing on Meteora, you're able to farm fees this entire time. Now, it's not completely safe, obviously, because the price could still drop out of your range. And I'm going to ask you guys real quick in the chat, what happens to all of these different buy orders once the price goes all the way down? They swap all the way to the tokens, right? So now, if price is down here below your last bin, below your last buy order, these buy orders have now all converted to sell orders of the token. So now it's down here. Basically, if it goes to zero, you're screwed because all of the Solana you put in are now tokens that are going to zero and they're not in range. What you're hoping, obviously, is that it comes back up, swaps back out of the tokens, whatever. There's risk, but hopefully you can see why doing this is so beneficial. I'm done yapping for a bit. Christian. Ralph pumped after you entered. Of course it did. What is your setup in Dex Screener to find tokens to DLMM? What situation use bid ask in spot? Thank you. So usually a good rule of thumb is I I think if you're starting 100% bid ask is not a bad idea. But for example, on this one, oh nice, we're getting somewhat of a bounce. On this one, I went 1 soul spot and 4 soul bid ask. So recently I have been doing kind of a hybrid. I usually go 1 soul spot, and maybe 5 soul bid ask. You know what I mean? So usually, like, I very rarely go more than 30% spot in a range unless I'm very confident on the token. Like for example, on Ralph, we were looking at Ralph. Rag is saying Ralph is pumping. For example, on Ralph, if I was like really impatient and I wanted to get some quick exposure to this, then I might go more spot up here. I might go 50% spot, 50% bid ask. So the curve would end up looking like something like this, something like that, right? As opposed to what I normally do is like 20% max spot and then mostly bid ask. Does that make sense? And like you can add more spot based on how confident you are on the token, because obviously if the token Ralph just hangs around here and bounces up, hangs around here and bounces up, you're going to get more fees in this pool. But if you think it's going to dump really hard, you're not going to want to have a ton of spot in it right there. Okay. I'm going to look at chat real quick. Hey, what's up, Wampa? Lose all your soul for a meme coin that's worthless. Don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, I'm not looking at the TikTok chat as much because we are live on the LP Army TV, and I'm trying to give more directed lessons and talk more about DLMMs than just looking at tokens. You're playing Minecraft. Let's go, Div. I'm about to do a Minecraft run soon. Me think I'm going to. Gosh. Is there a way to copy trade your soul challenge? Sorry. I'm just taking a break real quick. Rag, I see your comment, 1 sec. And the deck screener, I'll get to that in a second. Okay, not too many TikTok questions actually. Every time I hop in here, that soul challenge number going up. Except that one time, Benji, you hopped in and I was at 160, and then you hopped back in and I was at 136. Is there a way to copy trade your soul challenge? It's not really. And I say that just because I try to teach stuff, and I'm telling you, if you guys learn this stuff yourself, you're not going to ever be able to copy someone your way to profitability. Never, ever. It's not bad to copy trade or be aware of wallets when they're entering DLMMs or positions. But yes. Benji, honestly, I am shocked that I didn't. So, sorry, in the chat, my friend Div says, I'm playing MC. My friend Benji goes, man, I read this as market cap. I'm in too deep. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Yeah, exactly. Y'all should, and Benji says, y'all should recognize that anyone who doesn't want you to copy trade them account cares about you. Exactly. Because, yeah, it's kind of self-explanatory. So I'm going to give you some screeners, and recently I have been popping into Axiom. I've been popping into Axiom, and not that I'm a new pair trader, but I do check the Discover page just so I can see recent volume that's coming in. Actually pretty helpful, not going to lie, to pop around these during the day, check Pulse, and just check out what's graduating. But back in the day, I didn't even do any of this. Back in the day, it was so much easier. So I'm going to give you one one dumb tip, but it's honestly not a dumb tip. So one thing that you can do, and it's really basic, I'm probably going to get roasted. Go to deckscreener.com homepage and literally just right-click, open a new tab. Literally, back in the day, this is all I did. I mean, how long does it take you to like weed out the coins that you don't want to play? Like, not playing this one looks farmy as hell. Right, this one I don't even know what's going on here. Like, not gonna play that. So even though there's like 50 tokens to look through, it takes you like 2 seconds. or not 2 seconds, but you know what I mean, like 10 minutes really to go through. And by doing that every day, and I don't even do that nowadays, but if you do that every day, you're going to be so in tune with what's popping and what's not and what metas there are. And it's all from just using the deck screener homepage, in my opinion. That's not a bad way to do it. And then I'm going to give you the other deck screener scanner, the deck screener scanner that I use sometimes. Actually, I still use it. So here. Sorry. I'm going brain dead. I can't find it. So actually nowadays I still do every morning when I get on the computer. This is the scanner I use, and it just makes it so I'm not gonna miss any decent DLMM plays. So ready? You probably don't have to put 10,000 liquidity. I think it eliminates some farms, and I do minimum market cap of 100k, maximum market cap of 40 mil, 36-hour max age, and 200k volume. That's all you need. This just makes it so I'm seeing coins that are coming out in the past day or day and a half. All right, so we're going to apply that, and then we just sort by age. We go down, we can see, oh, and another thing I forgot to say is I only look at the decks paid. So on TikTok, sorry, I don't know if you can see this. Here, I'm going to pull up the filters for you one more time. Here are the filters. 10,000 minimum liquidity, 100k minimum market cap, 40 mil maximum market cap, pair age, 36 hours, and then 200k minimum volume. And you're still going to get a bunch of fake tokens, but what you can do is if they don't have dex paid, just don't look at them. And then I just check out the dex paid. This isn't like maybe the best option. I know you can monitor pool scanners, etc., etc. But then I just go through every morning, look at the ones I missed, and it's also very helpful because I don't know if you guys can see, but sometimes the DLMMs pop up. So, for example, on Cash, right, this is an older token, but the DLMM just got made, and it's getting over 200k in volume. So when you see the DLMM pop up on here, it's just helpful to know. Doesn't mean you're bullish, whatever, but it means that DLMM is obviously raking in some volume. So, like, obviously not, right? Hopefully we all know that this is not going to work out in the long run. Obvious farm. Avoid that at all costs. Avoid that at all costs. Super farmy based off the volume. Not really sure what the deal is with this one. The first Cloud Companion. Maybe. Maybe it has a narrative chance, but like, I mean, that's obviously the best one we've seen so far, but it's still not something I love. And then, like Cat, I don't get it. I don't have the patience to get it. And sometimes I look at stuff and I miss the narrative, but that's fine. There's always going to be more tokens to look at, you know what I mean? DLMM what that means. So DLMM means, what is it? I've looked this up like 500 times, I should know. I think it's like direct liquidity market making. It's not dynamic liquidity market making. Gosh. That's actually so bad, I should know that. What does DLMM mean, Meteora? Before, I'm gonna have one more time. I'm gonna say direct liquidity market making, or distinct liquidity market making. Oh, dynamic liquidity market making. That's what I said it wasn't, but yeah, dynamic liquidity market making, or market maker, dynamic liquidity market maker. So the reason why dynamic liquidity market maker, I'm not sure if that is really the best name for it, to be honest, because a lot of people aren't gonna necessarily understand what that means. But basically, what separates it from other market makers in Solana, so most of the stuff you see on the deck screener homepage, these are all AMMs. When you see the Solana logo here on deck screener, the thing to the right of them is going to represent the liquidity pool. So here you have Radium. This is going to be probably a bonk token. Most of these pools, or all of them, all of these ones are going to be automated market makers. So basically what that means is it keeps a 50-50 ratio of the token and Solana. I think it tries to maintain that at all times. Basically, long story short, you can't manage where your liquidity is set up. You put in equal amounts of the token and equal amounts of Solana, and it creates a ratio for you. It's hard for me to visualize that. But the cool thing about DLMMs is basically instead of entering a liquidity pool on this token and saying, okay, well, I'm going to make money if it goes up or down, but I don't really know where my liquidity is. I'm putting in 1 SOL and it's somewhere spread out between this range, and I'm putting in equal amounts of tokens. It's somewhere spread out in this range, or maybe even higher, right? Maybe it even goes unlimited. I don't even really know how AMMs work. The DLMMs are way different because instead of doing that whole ordeal, you can just go one-sided. You can just put in Solana if you want, and then they just act as limit orders. That's like literally all they do. They're limit orders that you are able to tax fees on. You are able to tax incoming orders, fees on your limit orders. So basically, it's the first thing on Solana where you're able to directly determine where you're putting your liquidity while technically market making and providing limit orders, liquidity, whatever you want to call it. What's up, little boy? Oil up. Oh boy, I don't know about that. Thank you, Benji. Thank you, Benji. Thank you, Benji, for helping. Sorry. If one want to enter with 1 SOL, how much should be bid ask? How much spot? Rag, it depends. So like on my example, maybe 0.2 spot and 0.8 bid ask is not a bad ratio. And if you are really worried about it dumping, you can even go 0.1 SOL spot, 0.9 SOL bid ask, or just go whole bid ask if you think it's going to dump really hard or something like that. Let's go to Vegas and put it all in black. Where you learn all this, bruh? I have been doing this for about I don't even know how long now. I think I've done it for a year and a half almost. And I don't know, I just I had some good resources when I was starting. I asked a lot of questions to some of the people who taught me. I learned from Razor. I'll shout Razor out because he was actually the first one to do the 1 to 100 Solana challenge, and he is a great guy here. But honestly, I learned about DLMMs through another friend. He had introduced me, and he had really explained how it worked. I understood how the platform worked, right? But I didn't understand how to be profitable using it. Razor was the first one who showed me how to hey, just go single-sided, buy-side liquidity pools, go bid ask mostly, and you're gonna have a lot of protection. And he grew an account. He did it way faster than I did. Granted, it was I think an easier market back then, so don't have as high expectations as you did. But if you even want to go and Razor on Twitter, if you want to go and look at his I swear his videos are here. He had a 1 to 100 Solana challenge. Anyways, that's got to be somewhere. Maybe not. Oh, YouTube.com, Yield Hustler. This is it. Okay, yes. This channel is the one where he did the 1 to 100 Solana challenge. Anyways, point being, I got inspired by him, made friends, learned, and yeah. And then ask ChatGPT a bunch of questions too, as well. So, yes. What time zone are you in? I'm in EST, sir. EST. Okay, that's enough. Why am I still getting holiday ads? Isn't it the new year? He was busy providing liquidity while we were blasting new pairs all day last year. Hey, honestly though, like compared to some new pair traders, like I do not have that much money, but I think it is impressive. Even though 142 SOL might not be the most money to some of you guys, to some of you it is a lot of money. I think it is a decent amount of money. Period. Right, wherever you are in the world. But anyways. I think the cool thing is that like it was actually doable to take a very small amount and compound it over time. And like I said, I'm not proud of my December P&L, but overall, if you go ahead and look at it, even though I'm not going to show you my P&L chart right now, if you find it, you find it. But like I said, it's been pretty consistent throughout the months, even after Libra. So after Libra happened last year, after Trump for me too, especially, it got really, really hard for like 3 months. Had to change up my play style. I've gone through so many transitions in. The thing is I keep one thing consistent. I usually go one side bid ask like every time, but the token selection and that kind of how long I stay in pools when I sell has changed a lot throughout the time when I first started. You don't know where to start. What's up? What's up, YF? Let me make sure I'm not missing any comments on the YouTube. YouTube guys, anyone have any other questions that I missed or didn't go over? Can Chud go up? Minus $33. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to end up sleeping on this thing. As sad as that is. Where on YouTube? You should be able to click the link tree. Also, because I'm on the LP Army YouTube channel currently, I'm live streaming. They are hosting me every Monday. And I always try to give out a lot of information on these streams specifically. My personal streams, we chill, talk about whatever, but here I'm really trying to focus on that. Anyways, because I am live on there, I'm going to shill. You can go to my link tree, look at my YouTube videos. I have free stuff there. But also go ahead and just go to lparmy.com. You can go ahead and join the Discord. This is the official community for Meteora. This is the more community side of it where people talk about helping, talk about strategies, tokens, whatever. Feel free to join Discord. Look at the other strategies they have here if you don't get enough information from my videos or vice versa. So there's a lot of resources for you here. lparmy.com. Feel free to follow them on Twitter. Feel free to follow Meteora on Twitter. I'm just going to be shilling them, obviously, because I guess I technically am affiliated with them, but I'm only affiliated with them because that's all I use to trade. Like, I'm not a sellout by any means. I'm being so for real with you. Mir reposted. I actually saw you message me. I'm actually so hyped about that. But yeah. I'm gonna stop yapping for 1 second and look at the chat. It'd be really, really cool if this thing pumped like uber hard. In your opinion, it's harder to trade meme coins or provide liquidity? So trading meme coins might be easier in terms of getting started, getting set up on Axiom. I personally don't. I still think Meteora is not very terribly difficult to learn. But if you go to my YouTube and you look up how to set up your first Meteora pool, it'll give you step-by-step the process. What's up, Strike? It'll give you step-by-step the process of setting up the pool. And you can see it's pretty simple. You can do it with any really amount of money. I do not this just for fun. School is frying your brain. Strike, I'm not going to be able to engage too much because it's Monday. You know what that means. You know what that means. You keep launching scams and LARP earlier on Pump Fun. What are you talking about? You must have me mistaken with someone else. It's Monday. It's time to switch to YouTube. Strike, yo, be respectful in the chat, bro. We're trying to make a good impression. But honestly, I love you for going to YouTube and watching there. What are you talking about? Same X account? I'll show you my X right now. That's the first, what did he say? Scams and LARP. That's the first accusation I've actually gotten. Thank you for the follow, Darren. If you guys follow me, I'll follow by Pips Up. I love Pips. If you follow me, CrimeXBT, no period. I will follow all you guys back on Twitter right now. I'm trying to grow the X, so... Oh, wait, what's the Discord? When Discord? I said it was going to be on the 1st of this year. It's done. I just need to, like, I need to figure out roles. Like, I'm such a bot. I'm such a bot when it comes to setting stuff up. And I don't want someone to set it up for me. I want to do it myself, but I'm just lazy. What are you talking about, Rajul? What are you talking about? Pappy, you really just have to sit on charts all day. What's the YouTube name, bruh? It's at LP. It's LP Army TV. LP Army TV. LP Army TV. How did you do 1 soul to 142, bruh? Unfortunately, tuned in a bit late. We've kind of gone over all of that. I'll see if I can do an even faster explanation. So this is going to be very broad because I just went very in depth on how it works. But basically, traditionally, when you're trading meme coins, right, and this is not a token I'm in or endorse, so let me find one I'm actually in. I'm in Karumi. There we go. So this is all my drawings from earlier. But basically, buying traditionally without using Meteora, if you're trading on Axiom or swapping on Jupiter, whatever the case may be, where you're swapping the token into your wallet, you are instantly exposed to the token. So current price is here, unless you use a limit order. Current price is here, you're now in. Now if it goes down, you are screwed. But on Meteora, Meteora allows you to instead break your 1 Solana or whatever amount you're putting in between a bunch of different little limit buy orders. You can think about them like that. So instead of buying here and hoping it goes up, now you can be like, okay, I don't think it's going to go below 100K, for example. Now Meteor spreads your Solana between a bunch of different price points, and now when the price goes into your range and starts getting into your buy orders and swapping to the token, Meteor allows you to charge a tax on incoming orders. So whether it's 2%, you get 2% of all incoming traffic whenever your bin gets hit. Now, this also works to the upside. So once it goes into your pool, when it goes down, you get fees in the token. When it goes up, you get fees in Solana. So theoretically, imagine what happens if it just ranges here forever. That is the power because you are able to farm fees while the token is not necessarily going straight up. If it goes into a range, you're just going to make fees on all of the order flow. That is where the market making portion of DLMM, Dynamic Liquidity Market Maker, comes into play. What are you talking about? The only token I have, I'll show you. And I don't endorse this. I never show my token, but I wanted to go live on Pump Fund, so obviously I made one. I have not sold one token of my own. And I don't want to talk about this on stream. This is not about my token. But because someone's calling me out, I'm going to show you. This is my token. It hasn't really done anything. That's fine. I don't need it to. But I go live on Pump Fund when I go live solo. So this is the only token I ever have or ever claim to have. I'm never going to make another one. So that is that. I'm not going to even show you what the CA is because I don't need you to buy it. Meteor has... What are you talking about? Rajul... Whatever. There's no point. Might be able to help with your X header. I like my X header. What, you don't like it? I thought it was cool. I'm probably not going to change it. I have a really picky artistic... Oh, Strike, what's up? Strike is in the chat. Strike, you already know I'm going to pressure you to drop a like. Alright, whatever. Chat's taking care of Rajul, the accuser. I appreciate you guys having my back. I learned about LPs last year, but it doesn't really make full sense. Is 1 soul enough to be efficient or profitable? Yes, I actually started this. This wallet with 1.5 soul. It says 1 soul on screen. Disclaimer: it was actually 1.5. But basically, what you want to do is the same strategy I'm using, and what it really comes down to. And Soju, one of the co-leads of Meteora, said it good at his presentation. He's saying 70% of LPing is token selection, and I 100% agree with that. And I wrote about it in one of my posts today. Thank you guys for the follow. If I don't follow you, just message me and I'll follow you back. But basically what I was saying is, what is impermanent loss, right? Impermanent loss occurs because the pool depreciates. Now, what's important when LPing, and for example on Kurumi, this thing had insane fee generation. This had better fee generation than a lot of pools that I've been in recently. So because I'm identifying that this token, being in this token, is printing more fees than a lot of other tokens, I'm more confident in this one. So even though when you enter a pool, let's say this is your range right here, even since when the coin goes down, this pool is going to depreciate. So let's say you have 1 soul, or for your case, if you're starting with 1 soul, you might be going 0.25 soul in each position to keep it safe. That's probably what I would recommend. No more. I wouldn't risk more than 100% on one play. So 0.5, 0.25 is really what your position sizing is going to want to be when you're starting off. Anyways, I kind of lost my point here. Yeah, I forget what he said. Sorry. Is 1 soul enough to be profitable? Yes. So, anyways, going back to what I was saying. So, the bottom line that I was trying to get to is that token selection is very important. Because you don't want to be in a token that is printing you low fees per day, obviously. But it's really hard to find a mix between pairs that are new and are printing high and coins that are already established that you have high confidence in that might not be printing as much. And that's really where the skill comes in. But you should be able to learn a good bit if you just tune into the streams, if you join the group, if you join the LP Army. Like I said, lparmy.com is a good place to start. My content, obviously, I'm biased towards my content, but this is always going to be solid content. It's made by the Meteor team. They are never going to lead you astray, and I will never lead you astray either, or I'll try not to. Alright, let me look at some comments, guys. Fee generation is because of volume, right? Yes. No goon. Strikeout, what does TS even mean? I swear like you don't use it correctly. Anyways, Rag says fee generation is because of volume, right? Yes, and fee generation, so also in certain pools, right? On the... So the amount of TVL is going to matter, right? Sometimes it's actually optimal in pools, like in earlier pools. If this has 5k volume, this pool might actually get more activity because sometimes more liquidity in the pool means more order flow, means more fees for everyone. There comes a point when there's becomes a lot of liquidity, and it's like butter, you know, spread too thin over bread. You know what I mean? There's not enough to go around. So that is where the tides can kind of shift. If there's like 100k in here, the fees aren't going to be as good, but maybe 10k we might get some more volume. Anyways, another component of this, right? You're going to charge in this pool, for example, it's 100 bin step 2% fee. So you're going to charge base fee of 2%. But in times of volatility, for example, if it's a very new token, it's getting a lot of volatility, a lot of volume. This, wherever it is, the dynamic fee, this says it's 0.5% right now. This dynamic fee can shoot up. And sometimes back in the day around this time last year, I'm not lying to you, you sometimes were able to make like 100% of your pool value in like 30 minutes. The fee generation back in the day, I'm not sure if it was because Pump AMM hadn't come out yet or because the trenches were just super hot with a ton of volume. Back in the day, you could make 100% like super fast, and it actually used to be, that's what I thought it meant, Strike You. But yeah, it used to be like way higher fee generation, and like I said, that's why I said it kind of used to be easier back in the day, but obviously this is still the only way I trade, and it's still profitable. Yes, sir, it is. It is who's your daddy? What are you talking about, Rajul? If you DM me, I'll sort you out, but I have no idea what you're talking about. Cupsy, DV, and other top trader don't trade on Meteor. I don't know what you're talking about. Your information is unfortunately not correct, sir. Where the insiders at? Not here, Strike, yo. You know, you know. I learned about LPs on Sui, but Sui just doesn't have the volume. Yes, agreed. And the powerful thing about why Meteor is different is like, let's say, for example, I instead of LPing really, I just want to get into this token really quickly, but I don't want to market buy. So on DLMMs, you can spread your liquidity at any range. So technically, I could just go one bin and make it like a single limit order. You know what I mean? Or I could go 10 bins and I'm covering minus 8%. So here, my liquidity is very, very wide. I'm setting my liquidity only in a minus 8% range. So that's why it differs from AMMs, because you can really control where your liquidity is placed. Meteora is not the same as Pump Fund or Bonk, like almost at all. You can launch tokens on Meteora, yes, but like in terms of the actual tech, this is just like way, way different. I don't know. I don't know. I just need to stop responding to that guy. Too much bots here. I don't understand. Like, is that a bot? I can't even tell. What's the main difference between what you're talking about and just regular meme coin trading? So we have gone over it like a good amount of times, but we can do it one more time. Just because we are trying to educate. We are trying to educate. So, main difference, right? When you're trading traditionally meme coins, traditionally, you might be using Axiom, you might be using Pump Fund Terminal, you might be using Jupiter to swap your Solana. So let's say you want to get in this token. Most meme coin traders don't use limit orders, period. So for the sake of simplicity, when we are getting into this token, let's assume it's a market order. So you buy one SOL, you're in one SOL here. Now, if the token goes down, you're in trouble because you are in here and it's now lower. The only way that this works out ideally perfectly is if the token just goes straight up, doesn't touch your entry ever again. We all know that is not as likely. So Meteora allows you to instead spread out your liquidity, spread out your one Solana. Let's say it breaks your one Solana into a bunch of different buy orders between a range you determine on the chart. And I always tell newer people to at least go 87% down or 90% down. Minus 87% or minus 90% is a good starting point. Now, instead of buying it traditionally and you're just holding it, right? Let's say you buy it here and it comes down and arranges, it finally comes back. Now you're break even again. Hooray. But this didn't benefit you at all. When you LP on Meteora, you're getting fees every time it moves between this range. So you're collecting fees, you're farming fees on incoming order flow. Now it's back at where you might have bought, and you've made way more than if you were just holding the token regularly. That is the power of Meteora. Roger, if you have an issue, I didn't rug you, bro. I've never rugged anyone in my life. What are you talking about? Like, I don't want to block you because I don't want to be that guy, but like, you're not making any sense, and you're clogging the chat. Div, what are you talking about? You should know that. They quit. Did they really strike? After you exit from a pool, why don't you use the small Jupiter logo and Meteor to convert this token to SOL? The good question, Rag. I used to do that all the time, but for whatever reason, you're talking about this little widget here. For some reason, it wasn't working for me one day, and I would just go to the Jupiter website. But you can use the widget. I haven't used it in forever, but I used to use it all the time. Just one day it wasn't working for me, and I was trying to get out. So like ever since then, I've just always gone to the website to do that. But I'm pretty sure it's no different. So that's actually a good question, though, Rag. I haven't thought about that in a while. Anthony, what's up, bro? It's been a while. It is a good deal, Smith. You can definitely still lose, Smith. So I'm preaching this. It's not entirely foolproof because if the token goes to zero, obviously your liquidity pool is just going to go to zero. So you have to ensure that you stay in range. That's why I always tell you to go very, very wide. Did you find a good volume in chart or filter in deck screener? So I really, obviously, I care about what the volume says, but I care more about the distribution of volume here. So going back to Karumi, for example, um, this isn't the best example, to be honest, but I try to judge based on the narrative also. Back in the summer, I was really, really big on narratives and just LPing them, not caring as much about feed generation, but the conditions have kind of changed. I've been trying to chase more feed generation nowadays. And like I said, when I'm looking on Deck Screener, I just open a ton of tokens, eyeball them, see if there's a narrative that sticks out, and then just eliminate all the ones that look like 100% no-goes. How much are the fees you can collect? Good money? Yes, it obviously depends entirely on the token you're in, but yes, it can be very good money, and it's how I've been able to consistently grow this portfolio or this wallet. How you doing, dog? Good, Anthony. What about yourself, bro? New year, new me. You got this meme point stuff to a science. I mean, keep in mind, I'm telling you guys all this stuff, but like, I'm still not perfect. My emotions have been causing me more losses. Like I said, I keep saying I was not profitable in December. It was my first red month in quite some time, so I need to take my own advice a lot of the time. But yes, I've been studying this for quite a while. No strikes, you know I don't. I'm chilling, unprofitable as always, but I love watching your stream so I can learn a little more. Yeah, like I said, I've been struggling too, but I've been putting together some wins and taking less losses, even though there've been a few this past week that are just like pretty shameful, to be honest. It's just me being stupid and not cutting the loss like I tell you guys to do. So I'm not perfect by any means. I'm not. Bro, only learned one word from school, narratives. Bro, what else would you call it, Strikeo? The narrative of the token, what else? The idea, like I don't get it. You can't roast me for that. If you were in a pool and collected some fees, do you sell the fees only if the coin pumps? Usually. Sometimes back in the day, I was a lot more careful and I would sell fees very consistently. But for example, like on this one, I sold some fees initially up here, and I probably should have sold some fees right here on this bounce. This is a good time to sell fees, but I was going kind of balls deep on this one, and I was trying to hold the fees for higher. So like, you'll see me hold a lot of fees in this unclaimed swap fee area. Um, and that's because I'm probably looking for like a home run type of thing, or I'm looking to sell them higher and make a lot more. But it's never a bad idea to sell out fees as you go. To be honest, it's really not a bad idea. So, yes, when you get a good bounce, and in like Rag, I always say it depends on your conviction of the token. If it's something where you see the meme or narrative or whatever you want to call it, if it's something where you think it's going to stick around for a while, then you might want to hold your fees. But if it's something that you're just in because of the volume, then you might want to be selling your fees more consistently. Is the meme market heating up again? I think so. What narrative today? I didn't really find any new tokens today. I'm sure some people made some money trading some newer pairs, but I didn't see anything that caught my eye really. Like I said, I'm in Karumi, and it's really. I opened one on Ralph. It doesn't look like I'm gonna get too much action tonight. But yeah, that's about it so far. Oh no. Okay. What are we at now? 74 minutes. I might actually be cutting it soon so I can get to sleep and be productive tomorrow. Looks like the viewership kind of dropped a little, so I'll stick around for a few more questions. I'm not going to go into anything in depth. I'm kind of gassed, but yes, I'll chill here if you guys have any specific DLMM questions. Oh, we actually are in range on Ralph now. That's cool. We need to change this to 1 minute though. Oh yeah. Okay, we're getting some sell. So you guys can see now, this is actually some good education. You can see now, right? Price is dumping. Now my initial range that I set up is now a little bit purple. That means some of my Solana has now swapped to the token. You can see I have now $8 of Ralph and I have 37 cents of Ralph in fees. So you can see live how it's working. As it came down into my range, I got some fees in Ralph. It must have come up a little because I have a little bit in fees. I have 15 cents in fees on Solana. I'm not cutting it because of you, Strike, yeah. It's because I'm getting comments in TikTok that I've already answered a lot, and I don't know. Don't worry. It's not because of you, brother. What time do you think the market is busy and high volume? Honestly, it's really hard to say. I see stuff. W got my double front pie. I didn't even mean to, bro. I didn't even mean to. I'm giving you another one. I don't really like. He says thoughts on 114. I didn't really like the random number narrative. I'm sure it's deeper than that, but all of the charts I looked at didn't seem very appealing to me. But yeah, like I said, the meme market, it's like always going. I see stuff pump overnight, so it's not. You'd probably ask a new pair trader. They'd probably know a little bit better than I would. What's your actual P&L? Like, when did you start, and if you started profitable? So, to give you a quick rundown, I'll try to make this quick. I started trading small cap stocks back in like 2020. Ran up an account, blew it trading options once my edge eroded. Bought a good amount of crypto towards the bottom in 2022, so that was kind of my nest egg. And then when memes started, I didn't really know anything about on-chain back in January 2024. I bought Pepe really early, and I had SHIB pretty early. So I was always into meme coins. They always treated me very well. So I got into trading Solana meme coins January 2024. At that time, I didn't know anything about Meteora. I didn't understand any of this. I was just trading meme coins flat out. I made a decent amount from January 2024 to June 2024. I probably made like 40K, and then I round tripped probably 50% of that, so 20K from meme coins. And then I started becoming like I round tripped like 20K, so I was like, all right, I need to chill. Learned about Meteora. Didn't really know the strategy to use. I learned about it. I learned how it operated in June 2024. Kind of took a break until August 2024 is when I saw my friend Razzer do his 1 to 100 Solana challenge. I got inspired to do that. August 2024, started it with actually 1.5 Solana in this wallet. And from then on, I was actually profitable nearly every month doing this. Sorry, Soul Snatcher says, yo. I can't soul not today just because we were on the LP Army YouTube, so I'm trying to keep it just focused. But I would pull it up. I would pull it up if not. But yes, the total P&L is 142 right now. Thanks for LP Army TV Live, an explanation, of course. I don't think I am Strikey. I think I'm gonna cut it on both, unfortunately. I need to get to bed, brother. I need to get to bed for sure. I've been cooking my sleep schedule. Sorry, bad English. My mentor says the best time to trade meme coin is when the West country, like the U.S., in the morning. That's not a bad time. I'd say like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. EST is when volume comes in, but I wouldn't say it's like specifically selective. How many days a week you been streaming? I've been streaming every day for the past like 3 days. I think I didn't go last night, but before that, it was like 3 of them. Yeah, sorry, Strike. We'll be back tomorrow, though. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, I just need to start doing it earlier, too. I used to stream like this on TikTok. So it's the TikTok Live Studio allows you to do all this, and then I just pull it up on my my desktop. You can download the Live Studio on desktop. Do you think there's such a thing as too much trading? Yes, of course. Most trading is just waiting. When you try to get active and make money, it's fine to do research and look at coins, but like if you're looking for something to get into, usually doesn't end the best. You'll catch me next stream. I've only done green screen. Yeah, I've never done that. This just for fun says, "I'll give you the sauce. Switch to Asian and get on the market when school ends." There, that's actually not a bad take. You should, Soul Snatcher. You should. We need more people doing it. All right, guys. The viewership has faded. I think I've covered most of the things I needed to do, so I'm gonna head off. It doesn't look like we have any more questions for now. Good night, bro. Good night, Strikeo. Good night, Soul Snatch. Good night, Div. Good night, Just for Fun. Good night, Get Bro. I don't know what the name was. Good night, Christian. Thank you for being in here. Good night, Rag, as always. Thank you guys so much. Great stream, great stream. Hopefully we can keep running it up. Hopefully the market keeps heating up. I didn't even talk about how Soul is pumping, but that is just super, super ideal for all of us in this space. So, yes, I will see you guys. See ya, who? See ya, who's your daddy. See ya.